On today's live daily news, the start of school is tomorrow. With that, intense heat is coming, and robots have taken over the Angelo State campus. Plus, the wife of the president of the Chamber of Commerce here in San Angelo, M.G. Koenig, became a U.S. citizen today. With that, she joins the show to talk about her experience on her path to citizenship. All this plus more. I'm Matt Trammell, and this is Live. But before we get to the news, Labor Day is approaching fast, which means last call for a summer barbecue. Since it could be the last chance, don't waste your time with those tiny steaks from the grocery store. Instead, drive out to Miles to get some of the juiciest steaks in Texas at Sklenerik's Smoked Meats. This award-winning meat market is open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays and 9 until noon on Saturdays in the heart of Miles, Texas. It's a drive that's worth the taste. Sklenerik's Smoked Meats at 108 South Robinson in Miles, Texas. Now, on to the news. We start the show today with some bittersweet news. If you're a parent, then you're likely happy, but sorry kiddos, summer is over and it's back to school. Classes for San Angelo ISD will begin tomorrow morning. With that, the San Angelo School District wanted to remind the public to not let your child forget their smart tag. Also, if you need any information, saisd.org has all of this year's information regarding bus routes, bell schedules, code of conduct, and so much more. To find a link to those, check out Ryan Chadwick's write-up on the Education tab on SanAngeloLive.com. And of course, when it comes to school starting, safety has become a big talking point. We asked the San Angelo Police Department how parents this year can make sure their child is safe at school. In an email, spokesperson for the SAPD, Kelsey Hernandez, stated that as the school year is approaching, the police department wants to encourage parents and students to remember, if you hear something, see something, then say something. If you need to report something, call the non-emergency line at 325-657-4315 or just message the San Angelo Police on Facebook. Crime on campus isn't the only thing police are worried about either. Another big concern is, of course, driving. Over the next few days, take note of speed and traffic while on roads, especially slow down and be alert while in a school zone, and never ever pass a school bus. San Angelo ISD isn't the only school in town with big news today either. If you're walking around the Angelo State campus, you may notice the mall is filled with robots. Okay, it's no iRobot situation, but these little guys are from the company Starship. These robots are a part of a food delivery service. Starship will bring you food from any of the restaurants on campus for a small fee. So whether you're wanting Subway at the Janelle Center or Starbucks at the library, these robots can bring it to you. The business is already up and running, so go order something today. Moving into crime news, another suspect has been arrested in the case of the runaway that was hid and sexually assaulted at a local crime spot. We told you back in April, 2 men were arrested by the Texas Rangers after a runaway was found hiding in their room at the San Angelo Lodge. 24-year-old DeAndre Faye and 20-year-old Adam Chapa were both charged with sexually assaulting the 15-year-old runaway. Now, months later, Texas DPS arrested Faye's father, 46-year-old Andre Faye, for indecency with a child, harboring a runaway, and multiple drug possessions. As of this afternoon, all 3 of the suspects remain in the Tom Green County Jail. The story has a lot more details, so read about them exclusively on SanAngeloLive.com. And for weather today, we're started back up on those extreme heat days. Yesterday, it didn't quite reach 100, but today temperatures hit 103. There's an excessive heat warning in effect for tomorrow, as the high will be a blazing 110 degrees. As for rain, the National Weather Service does have a 20% chance of thunderstorms in the Concho Valley tonight, but if you look at those are likely. Those storms will be in south of San Angelo near Ozona, Sonora, and Junction. Of course, things change, so to stay up to date with the weather in the Concho Valley, tune in every day to the Live Daily News Show. And finally, the Texas high school football season is among us, and yesterday, Cover One analyst James Bellini was able to meet the Cougars out in Cristobal. How did it go? James will tell you after this quick message from the Bass Bunch.
At Jim Bass Nissan, you have choices, and any way you go, you're going to save in a big way. You can choose from a new 2023 Nissan Armada SV or a new 2023 Nissan Titan Pro 4X Crew Cab and save $9,000 off MSRP. The choice is yours, but remember, the savings won't last long. Hurry into Jim Bass Nissan, corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
The Cristobal Cougars hosted the annual Meet the Cougars last night. It was the first chance to meet the team after their first scrimmage last week against the Junction Eagles. Cristobal graduated quite a bit of experience last year. Nearly their entire offensive line and bell cow back moved on. But head coach Casey Otho has always had a good team. Last season, Cristobal made the playoffs and played the eventual state champs, the Hawley Bearcats, in the opening round. This season, should things play out similar to last year, the Cougs will need to snag a different seed to avoid the Bearcats, who will still have a pretty talented team. It could be bad luck though, as Forsan and Reagan County, both those games came down the wire, with the game against the Owls going into like triple overtime. There are a fair number of seniors on this Cougars team, but it's pretty young. Raiden and Wraith and Broadway anchor the offensive line with Ethan Burchett, and this unit needs to gel quickly to protect probably the biggest question mark, quarterback. Kyle Ablez, who started some games last year when the starter went down, and Stanton McLaughlin are both competing for the position. Otho said they could run both all season long. Three guys who could make a difference are Manuel Riojas, Jake Edmonston, and Ethan Bush. Riojas, a junior, will be the leader at running back and at linebacker. The Cougars will play the TLCA San Angelo Eagles at Lakeview Stadium this Thursday and open the season against the El Dorado Eagles in the Battle of 277 in El Dorado. Last year, the Eagles edged out the Cougs 7-0. For more sports in and around the Contra Valley and beyond, be sure to check in every day at sanangelolive.com/sports.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Cano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Cano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Hello, welcome back. I'm Joe Hyde, San Angelo Live's publisher, and today my special guest is the newest, or one of the newest, American citizens in San Angelo today, because this morning, Ms. M.G. Koenig got her naturalization process finished, and she has now been sworn in as an American citizen.
Indeed.
And so what we wanted to do, the reason we brought you on the show is we wanted other people to find out what the process was, what you had to go through, and if you're not an American citizen right now, is it worth it to try to, get to that? So I guess, you're married to the chamber president, Walt.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And so that brought you to San Angelo. And you're originally from Italia.
Italy, yes.
Italy, right. Then if you don't know where Italy is, it's the big boot in Europe, right?
You got it right. You know geography.
I'm very good with geography. And it has like a little thing down there, Sicily. It's kind of stepping on it, I guess.
Yeah, let's not get there.
But tell me where you where you grew up in Italy and where you lived.
Yeah, I was born in Sardinia, which is the other major island out of Italy, and in between Spain and the continent, as we call it. And I was raised in Rome and lived in Milan for most of my life. Back in year 2000, my boss was the current president of the chamber here in San Angelo. We didn't love each other back then. He was my boss, and was an American trying to teach me how to live my life in Italy, which I had some kind of pride there. But so
wait. Walt didn't know any Italian.
Of course, he didn't speak the language, but he was still trying to teach us.
And then that's where you met him?
Yeah, he was the managing director of the company I was working for.
I see.
But
and he didn't know a lick of Italy.
Oh,
or Italian.
He went for a full immersion in Todi, which is a beautiful location in Umbria, for a week.
So if you can't talk to the guy, what was your attraction?
I could speak English.
Oh, okay. So you were kind of like his translator too.
Oh gosh, everybody in the company was supposed to speak English. That was an American company, so that was the deal.
Right.
Which worked fine for me.
All right, so fast forward. I know you've spent some time in, I guess, D.C. with him?
Actually not. We met again in D.C. in the year 2009 when we both had a different life and invited me over. I love D.C. I had never been in D.C. First time And that's our place now. We really like this sea. We started to be together since 2009, and it was fun ever since.
And then you both took assignments to.
Oh God, I didn't know that. Back then, he wanted me to join him in Afghanistan, and of course, I mean, I like adventures.
Right.
And Walter always granted.
Like that's travel, right? All girls that are in the dating range won't travel.
Hey, what do you know? Don't you?
So
don't
he
you
brought
want to
you
go
he
to
brought
Afghanistan in middle of a war zone in 2014.
I was actually offered the opportunity to apply for a job in Afghanistan. They needed a civilian ex-military guy to run the flamethrower operation that burned all the poppy fields.
Oh my God.
And I said, well, what happened? And it paid like $270,000 a year. And I said, well, what happened to the guy that was there before? He goes, well.
No comment. Was it the famous no comment?
Yeah, no comment. So I told my wife, I said, I could go to Afghanistan. I could make $270,000 a year. And she goes, do it. And I'm like, the last guy didn't come back alive because they were flamethrowing all the poppy fields.
What about having an insurance before you go?
Yes, she didn't get that far, but I got mad at her. I said, you just want me to die.
No.
Anyway,
but I loved him so much that I said, yeah, by all means, I want to join you.
So you're in Kabul, Afghanistan.
We had to get married, which was our objective. We had to speed up the process a little bit, but I ended up in Kabul in 2014, June.
Right.
And since then, I decided I wanted to become an American.
So you're in Kabul. What were you doing there?
I was there vetting the Afghans to become American citizens on special immigrant visa called SIV.
So these were like the translators for our army and stuff like that?
Most of them translators, others facilitators for the American government, working for American companies that were reconstructing.
So here an Italian was evaluating Afghanis to whether or not they could be U.S. citizens. Afghans. Okay, they're not Afghanis?
No, the Afghanis is the currency.
There you go. So anyway, you're evaluating Afghans to become U.S. citizens, but you're an Italian yourself.
No clue about. I only had my
this was under Obama, so that explains it.
Was
anyway.
it? Yeah. Actually, it was. It was.
Yeah.
But that was interesting, and that's the only job I could get at the embassy. I had a blast over there. We were called the United Nations because we had people from Singapore, Norway, France, the Netherlands, Germany, Brazil. Mexico, I mean, all over.
And of course, we've had Walt on the show talk about Afghanistan and the horrible withdrawal we had and things like that. So it makes, I mean, when you put your heart and soul into something like that, it really is tough when it ends that way.
Knowing these people, they were applying, and they gave a lot about their families, their lives, and some of our friends, they're still there, and they're still struggling for their life because it's not picnic over there.
And there's not really much you can do.
We can't. I mean, our hands are tied, and we cannot do much. And the Taliban are just dictating whatever the rules are right now. We have no clue what happened to the young women that were into poetry, they were reading, and they had aspirations to get better education, come to the U.S. or anywhere in the world. And now probably they're stuck, or they might not even be alive anymore because they were considered rebels. Were innovative young women with a future that they thought could tangible, and it's no longer.
And it's gone.
It's totally gone.
Like the snap of the fingers, it was gone.
Unfortunately.
Basically, it took 2 weeks and it was gone, basically.
My God, yes.
Yeah. All right, so happier times.
Yeah.
You leave Afghanistan and you show up in Kerrville, right?
Actually, I got my paperwork at the embassy, and one of my colleagues at the embassy in Kabul, an Afghan guy, gave me the first interview.
Oh, really?
I was provided the papers, and we were coming
These are naturalization papers.
Yeah, actually, the application for the green card. That's the first step.
Okay.
Got this paper. The guy sent me with all this envelope. Don't open it up until you enter the U.S. I was going for a destination wedding in Mexico for 48 hours. God bless our heart. We did it. I was sick, but we did it. And guess what? Without knowing that one day my life would have been in Texas, my port of entry was Houston.
Is that right?
So I gave my papers to the Houston Customs.
Okay.
And that's where I started my adventure. It was February 2014.
So it's taking you
February 2015.
8 years process.
Yeah.
And the whole time, do you have to like keep renewing your green card?
When I came to the U.S., I had to go through a bunch of interviews. They were always questioning if you were away, why, how long, what were you doing, whatever. But then when I finally moved to Kerrville in 2017, I started to get my conditional green card.
Okay.
And it was because I wasn't married for long enough, and that's what the issue for you.
What is it,
first
3
time.
years you got to be married?
2 years, 2 and 3 years, yes. And so they gave
So
the
you
issue.
can't. So you're out there trying to get naturalized. You can't just get married and the next day you're a
Nope.
U.S. citizen.
And that's not. It doesn't grant you. Nope.
Right.
You have to go through the process, which is, I mean, my country of native country would not even allow you to do that. So bless the Americans. They have a process that is quite fast.
Okay.
To be honest with you. And what I did was going back and forth. Every time they were calling me, I had to go and take my fingerprints, my biometrics, and I had to be ready for that. So
Did you have to pay for the biometrics, or
all the time there was the application, 800 here, 700 there, 400. I mean, there was always some money involved.
with travel and everything? How much do you estimate this cost?
Between $3,000 to $4,000.
Okay. Do you have to hire a lawyer or anything?
I didn't, because thank God when I was at the embassy in Kabul, I had friends that knew how the process had to be handled.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was here, I was already familiar with whatever was going on, so I could work it out by myself and with the help of my husband. So that was
Okay.
good. He was my petitioner, because you have to have a petitioner.
A what?
A petitioner, which
A
is
petitioner.
somebody that helps you. I mean, I could not
In
get
Texas,
it.
that's a petitioner.
Oh, sorry. You cannot have it. You cannot start the process unless you are here for a job. Of course, if you have political problems or you're asylum, or if you're married.
Right.
And my request was because I was married to an Italian, to an American. Sorry.
You're an Italian.
I'm
married
an
to an
Italian American, married to an American.
Okay, so fast forward, you're doing all the green card thing, and you're going into the naturalization. They had to give you a test, right?
Oh gosh, yeah,
All right.
it was fun.
And so you had to drive down to San Antonio from
Yes,
San Angelo.
sir. And it was the day before 4th of July. How fun was that?
So the 3rd of July, on Monday,
Yeah.
the 3rd of July, you're driving down to San Antonio to take a test. So did they ask you who the first president of the United States
Of course.
was? They did? And
But that was the only question that I was expecting them to ask me.
All right, what was a question you did not expect?
Hey, I mean, which I thought it was so dumb. Can I say dumb?
Yeah.
There was, who is entitled to vote in the U.S.? And I thought,
Did you say it depends on if you're a Republican or Democrat, whether or not that...
I mean, no, I don't want to go politics, but I said, I said, I didn't say citizen, which was my mistake. I said, everyone is above 18 years of age. And he said, yes, but can you vote? I said, no, not right now. Maybe when I will
Right.
vote when I will get my citizenship. You got it. So what do you have to be? So she was driving me into the answer. I
Right.
said, you have to be a citizen. Yes, you got it.
Gotcha.
So you have to be a citizen to vote.
Did they ask you when you had to file your taxes?
Oh, that's true. That's another question. They didn't ask me, but they asked me to give up loyalty to my country.
Okay.
My country of provenience. And they asked me if I was able and available and ready to bear arms if necessary, or to serve.
Did you buy a pistol when you got out of
I don't get there, but I like shooting.
Well, there's one of those Cabela's or whatever on the way out from San Antonio on the way to San Angelo.
my
You could have
gosh.
stopped there and gotten a gun so you can bear arms.
No, in case there is a conflict, which, I mean, my life would be devastated anyway, so.
All right, so today at the courthouse, and we have, it's periodic here in San Angelo, at the federal courthouse, they have what they did naturalization, I guess the oath of citizenship, right? You
Yes,
had to
sir.
raise your right hand and
Yes,
and
sir.
say, so that's what you did today. And then you had a little reception at the Cactus Hotel with a lot of friends. A lot of friends
Yeah,
came out.
Amazing.
You know?
Overwhelming.
And what did it, when you raised your hand and when you finished saying that pledge, what did it feel like?
I crashed into tears. I was so emotional. I cannot even think about that now. And it's huge. It's a new birth.
Right?
It's a new day for me. It's not a change in my life, because that's what I do. I mean, I live in San Angelo. I embrace the life here. I love people here. I love the culture. I cannot say I love the food 100%, but sorry about that. I'm still into the Italian diet.
Have you eaten a steak at the Dunbar?
Oh my gosh, I love
All
steak.
right, so there you go.
The meat in Texas is just the best. And even my dad knows that.
Right, it has a lot of protein too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that was really a great time for me. Beautiful moment.
So did you feel relief or did you feel more joy?
Joyful for sure. I don't think I was anxious this morning when I got up. I don't know why, but I was not relieved. I was just light. I was happy. Super. I'm happy. I'm just ecstatic.
All right. So you love art.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so now that you're a U.S. citizen, what are you going to do to be productive and to earn your right to be you don't have to really earn it anymore, but what are you going to do to make this all worthwhile?
I am helping my husband every day in his mission, and I think it's a big one. And
the secret behind this whole thing, Walt is not that, he doesn't work that hard. So what happens is Walt is at all these events, and I learned this when I was on the campaign trail. Somebody is scheduling Walt, and I figured it out. This guy, MG is his scheduler, and that's what he does. That's what she does. She makes sure that he is at every important event in the city. I mean, you do, don't you? I know you do.
Not really. I try to watch what he's wearing.
Oh, listen to you. Anyway, MG, welcome to America.
Thank you so much. I am so proud. I forgot my flag.
It's MG Koenig, and she is the newest American citizen here in San Angelo. She's also the wife of San Angelo's Chamber of Commerce President, Walt Koenig. And I just wanted people to hear your story and find out what it was like. So we know it costs several $1,000s, and it takes several years.
But it happens.
Right.
I mean, just keep faith, work on that, and just don't lose your faith, and it's going to happen.
All right.
If you really believe in it. I did, and I do.
Well, thank you for coming on our show, and now back to you guys.
Thank you.
Who decides where you get your hair cut? You do. An oil change? You do. How about an MRI? That's right, you do. And it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Get a doctor's orders. Tell your doctor you want to go to Angelo MRI. Let us do the rest. We call you to schedule an appointment, we call your insurance, and we send the results to your doctor. You need a doctor's orders, but a doctor can't order you where to go. It's your health, your choice, your MRI.
What a great interview. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, MG. See, it's that easy. Only takes 8 years and a couple of grand, and you can be a U.S. citizen too if you're not one already. This is Live Daily News. We're here every weekday during the 4 o'clock hour. We're going to be giving you all the news that happened today in San Angelo, as well as an interesting interview to keep you on your toes. For everybody here at San Angelo Live, I'm Matt Trammell. We will see you guys tomorrow.